Something is very wrong in the world. No one has seen a cloud in years and the entire planet has dried up. The only place that still has clouds is a single isolated mountain range with a river in the middle made of all of these clouds. Why is this? Well, it's because a giant storm has trapped every single cloud in the world within this basin and is constantly reabsorbing them and then raining them back down in order to hold on to their power. However, not all hope is lost. That's the premise. Prologue. Wanna help me kill the storm? There's no need to act professional, Butterfly. I know who you are and I appreciate your energy, so why don't you bring some of that instead of whatever you're trying here? Lest I fall asleep. Alright then, I'll keep it brief. I want power. I want freedom. The storm has that, and I'd have taken a crack at it already if it didn't immediately absorb anyone who got close. I hear you're a creative type and you can help me come up with a plan of attack. I'd hardly call constantly hovering over a single mountain range to maintain your power freedom, but I see your point. Alright then, Butterfly, I'll be the brain, you can be the brawn, and free us from this place. I knew you'd be perfect for this! However, the storm only has that power because they've been reabsorbing the clouds that are trapped here. If you get this power, you won't be able to hold on to it for too long. As long as you are okay with letting them go once they've been rained out, I'm happy to work with you. I don't make promises I can't keep. Charming. Well, I suppose there's not many better options. Awesome. Our first order of business. Planning a route to the witch. The witch? It's time for the talky talk concept part of the video. Everyone's favourite part. With me. Now that we've been introduced to our central characters, I don't know if I went into Butterfly's whole deal in the trailer video. I probably did, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it again anyway. This is Butterfly. She is very hyperactive, enjoys violence, and is incredibly power hungry. You know, your standard protagonist. So, you know, there's maybe going to be some kind of, I guess, moral questioning about whether or not she actually wants to let the clouds go when she eventually defeats the storm, but can get into that later. There's probably not going to be that much more complexity. Let's be honest, there's not going to be like complex moral decisions in a roguelike concept about clouds. And there's also her friend Fred, who is very much not a fighter, but he's kind of the artistic type, the classical, I'm better than you, I'm a creative genius of this time, I know what I'm doing. And as you can see from this little bit of concept art down here, they're tight, they're great. And there's Midas. Oh yeah. Here's the thing. Midas is one of those characters where he is discussed a lot and like hyped up throughout the story, and he's very important. Well, not very important, but important for the lore of this series. But you only really meet him in like the final, I don't know how many episodes there's gonna be. One of the final episodes. You may or may not have got a couple hints at like what he might look like and what his deal is, but you know, like throughout the episodes. But you know, feel free to speculate. I know you're all probably not going to speculate, but whatever. I mean, it's a fun little thing. Now, Butterfly is the player character, so naturally she's gonna need, you know, ways to attack and stuff. How do we make our Cloud Girl stronger? Well, there's a couple options. There is, of course, you know, upgrading her basic abilities. You know, throughout the story, you go deeper and deeper into the game, gaining points and using those points to upgrade her. You've got the punch, which, you know, that's kind of just her standard ability you'll probably be using for a decent chunk of the story. Maybe there'll be like a small spark like shock blast you can use or something. Then there's her rocket fist, which is demonstrated in this nice little comic I made. The full thing is either in the YouTube community tab or on my Unveil. Prefer Unveil, but whatever, who cares. It's only like a little comic, but I think it's pretty fun. Then there's, of course, her lightning aura ability, which is basically when it's active and an enemy hits you, you'll still take the damage from that hit, but the enemy will also take damage from that hit and become stunned, so you can do whatever you've got to do. And there are other options for upgrading, like for example abilities you don't have at the start of the game and you can just unlock them. Like for example her water sword, which is, come on, you know what the water sword does. You know what, she summons a sword made of water and slices things with it. Then there's the jump and the dash abilities, made by these incredibly made images, if I do say so myself. There's of course this ability where she basically breaks apart her non-storm arm and then shocks a lightning current through it, so anything near that or in contact with it gets zapped. It's basically a sort of simple way of attacking after your storm arm's been gone in the rocket jet attack. And you may be wondering, how the hell are we supposed to attack when we lose both of our arms? You don't. Well, at least until your arms regrow. And then you can shoot them off again, but you know. And then there's finally her lightning cannon, which, you know, it does exactly what it says. It's kind of like a less powerful version of the arm blast, but it's worth it because you don't lose your arm when you do it. Yeah, it's less powerful, but you don't need to wait for your arm to regenerate. But then there's an extra bit of upgrading, where if you expand this sheet even more, you get the emote page I did. But if you check a different page, that's right, you get this completely. I came up with this design. It is completely original design. Thank you for your praises on this design that I definitely did not subconsciously take influence from anything else to make. And basically, the way this works is throughout the levels there will be different gases that Butterfly can merge with and then transform into these different forms. While there is other forms, this is the only one I'm showing off today. It's her steam form. Does what it says on the tin. It looks a lot skinnier than her because it's steam. It's like hot, so you know she's kind of evaporated a bit. But you know it can shoot like boiling blasts. But you know, other than that, that's all I'm showing for today. So stay tuned for the next episode, because this is just a taste. Next episode of Storm Basin, we're going to be getting into the first stage, I guess, and more story stuff. So, you know, there's that stuff and more